Mabuhay, everyone! I am Cathy Caberoy, and today we'll be tackling about designing inclusive learning environment. But of course, before we delve in our proper discussion, I have here a little game, the Inclusion Detective. So of course, this is to fuel your mind for later's discussion. So for the instructions, a scenario or picture will appear on the screen. And of course, while watching, you observe the scenario carefully, and then you ask yourself, is this inclusive or not inclusive? So yes, you do not need to say or type anything, so you just need to guess silently. And then after a few seconds, of course, the correct answer will be revealed, and a short explanation will follow to help you understand why and see how many you can get right and learn as you go. The question is, are you ready? Okay, give me 1 clap if you are, 2 claps, and 3 claps. Alright, I can see that you are all ready. So let's now begin. So for the number 1, we have here, during a reading activity, the teacher provides audio recordings, printed text, and picture books. Students are allowed to choose which format works best for them. So is this inclusive or not inclusive? Alright, I can see that you got the right answer, so it is inclusive. And for the second one, we have here, the classroom desks are placed in tight rows. There are no ramps or elevators, and a student who uses a wheelchair cannot enter the classroom without assistance. Is this inclusive or not inclusive? So it is not inclusive. So as you can see in our picture, so it is stated there that there's no ramps and the rows are tight, so therefore it is not inclusive, because how can those with mobility challenges can cross the path, right? So it is not inclusive. And for the third one, we have here, the class is given an online assignment, but one student does not have a device or internet at home. So the teacher does not have provide any alternative. So is this inclusive or not inclusive? So the answer is not inclusive. So yes, so for our learning objectives, we are here at the end of the lesson. The learners must have created an inclusive learning environment design and presented a comprehensive plan or managing inclusive classrooms. So for our introduction, what is inclusive learning environment? So yes, an inclusive learning environment is a space where every student feels valued, respected, and supported. It goes beyond simply allowing learners to be present. It ensures that all students, regardless of their background, ability, or learning style, can fully participate and succeed. These are adaptable, equitable, and designed to meet the diverse needs of learners by removing barriers and providing flexible teaching and support strategies. So designing an inclusive learning environment means going beyond making a classroom look nice. So it is about thinking deeply, how can every single student feel welcome, safe, and able to participate fully? Not just some students, but everyone. Let's talk now about some key parts, starting with the physical environment. So actually there are 2 kinds of environments, which are the physical and social, but the social will be discussed by my co-members later on. So physical environment considerations. First, we have the accessible entrances and pathways. So schools and learning spaces should have ramps, wide doorways, and level surfaces to accommodate individuals with mobility impairments, such as those using wheelchairs or crutches. This ensures equal access for all students, allowing them to move freely and independently. So imagine yourself that you are the student who uses a wheelchair. So of course, you will arrive at school and realize there's only a staircase and no ramp. So right away, diba, you will gonna feel stuck, limited, or maybe even embarrassed asking for help. So that is why simple adjustments like adding ramps, wider doors, and smooth flooring can make a huge difference for everyone. So these features tell students with mobility challenges, we thought of you. You belong here. So it is not just about kindness, but it is about real inclusion where we can make everyone feel that they are supported and as well as respected. This is the example of the ramp, the wide hallways, and the elevator. So that is one of the examples, or that are the examples of accessible entrances and pathways. And then for the second one, we have the adaptive furniture and technology. So desk and chair should be adjustable to cater to the different physical needs and learning styles. Assistive technologies like screen readers and text-to-speech software can support students with visual or reading impairments. Now think about sitting at a desk that either way too low or way too high for you. So it is uncomfortable, right? So you keep adjusting, getting distracted, and cannot even focus. So in inclusive classrooms, desks and chairs can be adjusted to fit to the different heights and body types. And technology helps too. For students who struggle with reading, can use text-to-speech apps, and those who have trouble writing by hand can use tablets. So it is like when some of us prefer reading with bigger fonts on our phones, so it is just easier. Same principle but made part of everyday learning for everyone. So this is one of the example, the adjustable desk and chair. So as you can see here, this one and chair. So adjustable na siya, where you can adjust depending on your body type and as well as sa imong height. And this is the text-to-speech software where if may ara ka sang trouble in reading or whatsoever, then you can use this software. And for the third one, we have here the sensory considerations. So of course, minimize distracting noise and bright lights, provide quiet spaces for students needing sensory breaks, and use varied lighting and textures to reduce sensory overload. So have you ever been in a room with super bright lights buzzing above your head, or in a really noisy cafeteria where you could not even hear yourself think? So for students with sensory sensitivities, mga students having autism, ADHD, or even anxiety, so that kind of environment can be very overwhelming and even painful for them. So they might shut down or have a hard time concentrating or focusing. So that is why a small changes like using softer lighting, adding carpets to absorb noise, or even setting up calm corners, so can help students self-regulate. So it is about creating spaces that are stimulating but not overstimulating. And for the last one, we have here the universal design principles. So universal design principles help ensure that learning environments are usable by everyone regardless of ability. So this includes incorporating clear signage, intuitive layouts, and accessible technology, making it easier for students to navigate and engage with their surroundings. So instead of fixing problems when they come up, why not design the classroom from the very beginning with everyone in mind? For example, using signs with both text and pictures helps all students, including those who are English or having, reading difficulties, understand directions faster. So apps that offer voice commands help not only those students with disabilities but also busy students juggling multitasking. So it is like using elevators or even though they were originally designed for people with disabilities, everyone can benefit from them when carrying heavy bags or when they are tired. So this is one of the example of universal design principles. So at the very first pa lang, dapat you should design the classroom wherein everyone could be included, or where everyone you can make them feel that they are supported, respected, and valued, whatever disabilities they have. So the clear signage. So of course, one of the factors ng clear signage is sa malayo pa lang, it's already visible to the eye of everyone. So for the conclusion, inclusive learning environments aren't just about accessibility. They are about equity, dignity, and respect. So when we build spaces that recognize and support different physical, cognitive, and sensory needs, we are sending a powerful message to everyone. You belong here. Every decision we make, whether it's about furniture, lighting, or layout, it shapes a student's ability to feel safe, included, and ready to learn. So let's design every classroom with empathy and lead with inclusion. So that's all po. Thank you so much. I hope you learned something from my pre-recorded presentation, and if you have any questions, well, you can just message me in my Facebook account, Cathy Caberoy. So thank you, and that's all po. Salamat!